Oh, hello, happy homeschoolers. I'm so glad that we get to spend some time together today. My name is Dr. Dawn Karima, and I'm really happy to spend this time with you. I really am. It's an honor, really, to be invited into your homeschool journey and to walk on this path with you. It is wonderful. It is. I'm really thankful, really grateful for the opportunity. Oh boy. I want to share with you something that I really believe will help you. I I'm thinking about something my granddaddy used to say, and he would say, "All you got in life is your family, your creator, and your friends." And he said, "I don't have any problems if I have the right friends." Right? I mean, that's right. He's right. I mean, every one of us can think of how our friends have helped us in life. I mean, we can all think about just amazing things that our friends have added to our journey. I can. I have the best friends in the world. I say that all the time because it's true. I have the best friends in the world. And I'm amazed because we're so bombarded with social media and all the other influences that sometimes we have to take a minute and remember what our real friends are like and why they are important. Well, our homeschoolers are no different, right? Our homeschoolers, happy homeschoolers, have friends. And so I want to talk a little bit about friendships and friends because I think that's something that when people criticize homeschooling, they come for that. They say, "Oh, well, what about friends? What about socialization?" And so I want to give us some practical help on friendships. Now, many people left school or chose not to enroll in school because they understood that perhaps their children would not make the friends there, right? I mean, if you had a child that was being bullied, then that was not the best environment for them to make friends. If there was a race or ethnic or spiritual question in that population, maybe that wasn't the best place for your homeschooler to make true and deep friendships. But we're going to talk about friends today. And I think that has to be an important part of every homeschool. I know curriculum teaches us terrific academics and we can learn some things, but I am a huge believer. In fact, I teach a class called Heart to Heart with Dr. Dawn because I believe in this so much in social emotional learning. I think we don't want our children to be awkward socially. We don't want them to be people who don't have any friends or don't make friends. And so we have to pour into them. We have to help them. We have to educate them about how to make friends. That means good manners. That means actually acting out friendship exchanges. It means signing up for social emotional learning if we need to do that. And it means that we have to spend the time and make the effort, which every parent does, right? Children are not feral. We don't just send them to school and say, good luck making friends, kids. Right? We still have to teach them values. We still have to teach them how to interact and have good manners and treat people with kindness and politeness and respect. So even if they go to school all day, right, at a different public school or something, you would still have to help them to make friends and to be a good friend. But I want to say today that that is part of your curriculum. Yeah, it is. As a homeschool family, being polite to each other, being mannerly to each other, being respectful to each other is super important. And that models good behavior that you want them to replicate in their friendships. But we have to be intentional about it. We have to say, okay, I want my children to have good, strong friendships. How will I manifest that in my homeschool? A social emotional learning class, books. Let's read books about this. Let's model this. Get some puppets. I have some puppets, Muppet and Puppet, and they they illustrate high quality behavior and high value behavior. How will you do this? Will you watch movies or videos about, that show strong bonds and friendships? You get to choose. But I want to make sure you do choose. Don't default. So that the first time your children meet somebody on the playground, they're pushing and shoving or they don't know how to talk to the people or they don't know how to interact. I want them to be able to maximize all of their interactions and build friendships. When they come on their virtual live class, Hi, friends. Bye, friends. I want them to learn how to make friends. That's so important. You've got to do it. You've got to add it to your homeschool curriculum. And I know it's easy. Like I said, I have a social emotional learning class, Heart to Heart with Dr. Dawn. We talk a lot about building friendships there and the kind of skills we need to do that. But please put it in there. Be intentional about it. Make sure that you're raising homeschoolers who are not just great people or greatly educated people, but are good friends. Yeah, make sure that you make that part of your homeschool family's journey. We're good friends. Our cousins are our friends. Our pets are our friends. Our siblings are our friends. Our neighbors are our friends. We are good friends. And here's why. One of the things we never get to do as homeschoolers is take things for granted. And I think a lot of people who send their children to school they just assume that they'll teach them something about being a good friend or, they'll teach them good manners. Where we don't do that. We have to do it ourselves. We have to intentionally add it to the curriculum. We have to intentionally teach friendship as a high value. We're going to our pals class. Oh, we're going to see our friends. Oh, how wonderful. You know, I think we have to think about friendship intentionally and purposefully. Joining co ops is a great way to do that. Of course, a program that has live classes is ideal. We have to think about friendship really intentionally and nurture those friendships. When we're doing our art, would you like to make a card for your friend? Would you like to make a card for our neighbor who's shut in and elderly? Would you like to leave some snacks out on the porch for the delivery drivers? We have to nurture friendships. We have to build friendships, starting with siblings, starting with us. We have to be good friends to our children. How do you treat your friends? Pets. I'm going to be a good friend to our pet. How do we do that? Let's do it. And for some of us, these things might be a little bit triggering, and I don't want them to be. Never. But maybe if you struggled in school with friendships, or maybe even if you were queen of everything, yeah, those of us that were social butterflies or popular or whatever, we may struggle a little bit now because in homeschooling, we're worried now that our children are missing out. They don't have enough friends. They don't get to be homecoming queen or, whatever it is, right? Maybe if you were bullied yourself, now you're a little worried. You're afraid. You don't want your children to be hurt. None of us do. And so I want to encourage you to find safe spaces for homeschool friendships, safe co ops, safe programs, educational platforms that allow your child to learn in a respectful environment where there's zero tolerance of bullying, zero tolerance of misogyny or racism or any kind of prejudice or ableism. We're building these wonderful spaces and communities. Let's start with those, right? I mean, if you're worried about bullying, then start with a zero tolerance bullying area. You have the ability to do that. Homeschool is your superpower. Find the parents who you really like and respect, and then encourage those friendships, right? I mean, you look at the children that are what are, you know, in your environment and you nurture them. You compliment them, you respect them, and encourage your children to do that too. I love it. I think it's wonderful. I mean, my children's friends are a joy to me. I look forward to seeing their friends. I like their friends. They're very wonderful, wonderful children. And so I encourage you to think about your friends. Yes, you already have some friends, you have some great friends, but make some homeschool friends on purpose. Like intentionally make friends with people in your co op or your educational program or your platform. Make friends with them. Why? Because that will help you in the homeschool journey. If all your friends are people who send their children to public school, That's okay, but it will be so wonderful and encouraging for you and your family to have homeschool families as friends, homeschool parents and caregivers as friends, for your children to have friends that are also homeschooled, right? And so, how do you do that? Well, if you want friends, you have to show that you're friendly, reaching out to people in a courteous, kind way. Everyone is a friend to someone who brings a gift, you know? Just starting with small, my child made a card for your child. Would you like to have a cup of tea with me? Talk about our kids, or maybe we won't. But I believe friendship has to be extra intentional for the homeschool community. Not a job, not a chore. I mean, this is not like, oh, I could work in the coal mine or I could be friends. No, no. And there's nothing wrong with either one. Both are fine. But we want this to be something that we do purposefully, that we choose our friends and we nurture our friendships and we continue our friendships and we love our friends and we treasure our friends and respect our friends. And this will help our children to do the same with their friends. And this will help our children to grow in friendship. And friends are something everyone needs, especially happy homeschoolers. So, one of the things that's wonderful to do is make a list. Keep track. Who are some of the children that your child interacts with or looks forward to seeing or responds to? And nurture those interactions. Who are some of the parents you like? You just really like that parent. You're glad when you see them. And nurture that um, with communication. And don't stalk anybody or lurk or anything, but just let them be known that, hey, I see our kids are both in this program and, you know, maybe we could visit sometime. For the children, oh, my child loves seeing your child in class, and I think it'd be wonderful if maybe they could have a play date or, play a virtual game together, or maybe we could have a dance party. I think that when we make friendships intentional and we nurture them and we grow them, we don't take them for granted. That's one thing in the homeschool community. We don't take our friendships ever for granted because we're not going to a large building every day where there's lots and lots of people. We're going to places and we're spending time where the people around us are very precious to us. And so I really want you to have good friends. I want you to be a good friend. I want you to have good friends because I know that friendship is one of the most important things about being a happy, happy homeschooler. I'm Dr. Don Karima, and I'll see you next time.